We have the details of these and many more stories, including sports and entertainments, coming up over the next 1 hour. Stay with us.
Let's begin the bulletin from here. The management of the Electricity Company of Ghana is awaiting a report from the Port Authority on its missing containers, which are likely to enhance the operations of the power distributor. The management, led by its acting managing director, Engineer Kwame Kwakpena, is urging customers to pay their bills on time and avoid stealing power, which has been the bane of its inefficiency. Now, George Queening is my colleague. He sat through that engagement between the Parliamentary Committee on Energy and ECG and is joining us with some more updates. George Queening, if you can hear me, the issue about ECG missing containers, a report was presented by a committee set up by the Energy Minister. Has anything come out of that so far?
Thank you so much, Crosby, for having me. I'm coming to you live from Petuase in the Eastern region. And like we rightly mentioned, it didn't really come up, but the acting managing director of ECG, Engineer Kwame Kwakpena, talked about the fact that they are waiting a report from the port authorities. Obviously, these containers were in the care of the port, and so they are supposed to make sure that these containers are actually found one way or the other. But their report will a long way ensure that we find these containers. But they are not doing this in isolation. They are doing this in partnership with the National Intelligence Bureau, who, of course, are the security landlords, and they are also partaking in this very search to ensure that we get these missing containers. And if these containers are found one way or the other, would enhance the operations of the power distributor Crosby.
Talking about enhancing the operations, one issue facing ECG has been commercial losses, which averages 30% of power ECG distributes. Now, has that come up at this meeting, and what are the measures that ECG is suggesting, as well as the other stakeholders, to reduce that amount?
It really came up, Crosby, and so commercial losses are, people use energy without paying. They are not billed, and that is on either the part on ECG or on the part of consumers. Maybe they have faulty billing systems, or people are actually stealing this power. So if people are able to pay for their power that they use, it means that we'll get more money. And the ECG is trying to ensure that actually encouraging people to actually volunteer information, that maybe if you have someone in your neighborhood who is stealing power, you should have to, tell them, inform them about that, so that they can ensure that the right thing is done. But what they've identified is the fact that they can make zero losses when it comes to commercial losses. But when it comes to technical losses, which is in the region of 9%, that one is a no-no. They cannot make that losses. But when it comes to commercial losses, it can be done. So they are going to ensure that it just drops from the 30% to 0%, so that they can maximize the benefit in the power sector. But this very meeting is day 2, and tomorrow is day 3, where the committee will be meeting in Money Africa on the issue of privatization of ECG. The minister has already mentioned that the privatization will not solve the entire problems of the power distributor, but at least will take us to the next level. So Imani Africa will bring some policy alternatives regarding this privatization to ensure that the best is gotten from the sector. The minister, of course, has painted a gloomy picture of the sector, and one way or the other, he's doing his best to ensure that everything that is required to make sure we enhance and make that very sector robust, is going to do that, Crosby.
George, I thank you. George Queening is my colleague speaking to us, updating us on this all-important meeting between the Electricity Company of Ghana and some other stakeholders there. Let's do some other stories tonight.
We're turning our attention to health.